Hello and welcome to Move the Line, presented by SharpStack. Ryan Noonan, joined here as always by Connor Allen. We're 17 weeks in, man. You can tell it's starting to take its toll. It's a little weird week between the holidays and break. What's going on with you, buddy? How are we doing today?
Yeah, I'm normally in Mexico during these times, so it's extra weird. So I log into Slack and I'm like, are people working right now? Like, what's the vibe? What's going on here? Thankfully, it seems like most meetings are canceled. Obviously, football work never really ends, but it's like most other corporate shit was canceled. So that was good. Exciting to see that. Got some other stuff done, some life stuff. So that was cool. But wild week of games, and the Thursday slate I thought was like the Christmas slate. Honestly, it was kind of better and more interesting than I thought it was going to be, with the Vikings upsetting the Lions and then the Cowboys the Cowboys, dropping 30 on the Commanders, which is not that surprising, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. I guess we talked about it a little bit on Friday. We don't need to go too deep, but I thought it was kind of interesting.
Broncos tried to give it to the Chiefs, which is, I think, just kind of the Broncos' MO, which makes them a fascinating team, and why the playoffs in general, really on both conferences, it feels as wide open as it ever has. Part of it is just the big bad Chiefs are removed from the equation. You don't have, I guess, the strength of the lingering teams, especially in the AFC. It's been Buffalo and Baltimore the last couple of years. They don't feel as strong. Like, they might both get in the dance, but they don't feel like these inevitable world beaters that are going to run into the Chiefs at some point. They just seem like they have their own flaws. And then on the other side, we shift to the NFC, and I think we think it's wide open. I think there are a lot of sentiment around the Rams being, a really good team, one of the best teams. They could be the 5 or 6 seed, and like that's a tough path, right? Like road games all the way through versus the perceived lock number 1 seed hosting a bunch of games too, right? So that bye becomes massively important, and they're on the wrong side of it. They're on the outside looking in. They're not even playing for the bye. So, which I think makes some award stuff interesting. We can get to that here today too, for sure.
Totally.
I'm trying to just parse through like what to talk about, what matters. I think going blow by blow through the week 17 board is not necessarily a great use of our time or the audience's time. Like, do you need our breakdown of Saints Titans yesterday? You probably don't. It's probably not helping you for week 18 very much, though. I will say Tyler Shuck was entertaining. Cam Ward had some entertaining play, but I'm not quite sure what to make of it. Let's look where we are now. Let's look at the relevant stuff. I'm going to share. Got a few things here to share today. Look at the Athletic, NewYorkTimes.com playoff tracker thing that we've been looking at the last couple of weeks, which I think helps us get a sense. Thank you. All right. Broncos currently there. I can run through all these different iterations of what happens. In the AFC, Broncos currently your number 1 seed. They play the Chargers in week 18, Connor. And let's see. Currently have, I think that's like a touchdown favorite.
Yeah, Broncos -7.5.
Yeah, so 7. So we're moving, right? So this to me smells like the market thinks that the Chargers aren't trying here. Right, because I don't think we would think that this line would not be through the 7 if we thought we were getting a full-on Chargers Broncos game.
No way. It would be what, like 3?
3, yeah.
2.5. I mean,
yeah, which is good news for Denver's number 1 seed in the AFC. With the Chargers, obviously, they're not necessarily locked into anything in particular, depending on what happens. Their most likely scenario right now is they're the 7th seed and would go to New England in round 1, assuming New England takes care of business against Miami. As you can see here, they are 10.5, 11-point favorites here. It's pretty interesting. Miami's pretty feisty. They've been playing some good ball. I mean, New England, is as well, obviously. But Miami is definitely feisty. New England should take care of business there. That kind of clears the path there, which makes some of the stuff in the AFC kind of fall into line. Really just comes down to a couple of the island games, right? We get, we get Steelers Ravens on Sunday night for all the marbles in the North. It basically comes down to who gets to host the Texans for the most part. Not a prize I necessarily want to win, but it seems the most likely of outcomes. And I believe we have 3 points favored there for the The Ravens on the road, 3.5 now. So we're taking some Ravens money this morning. I think it's just pretty interesting. Again, no DK Metcalf again. So, and then we obviously have the other big marquee game on Saturday, which is for the NFC number 1 seed, Seattle and San Francisco, which is coming off of a pretty entertaining battle between those two teams. I think we got the two teams last night, Chicago and San Francisco, which I feel like by law are required to play in highly entertaining football games. Like Bears just cannot play in a boring game, which is really cool. The Bears played games for 25 years. So high voltage.
That was such a fun game. So I would love to see them play again in the playoffs. I don't think that it's shaping up to be like that, but I mean, well, maybe no, probably not. But I think the Ravens Steelers one was interesting though, because there was reports today that they're not even sure if Lamar is going to play again.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd make the Ravens 3.5-point favorites with Tyler Huntley on the road. Would you?
I thought 3 made sense. Again, partially because, I mean, what was the Steelers' offense yesterday? We touched on it on the pre-show. It was insane. It was, I don't know where I saw it. Like they still tried to run. They just didn't do a really good job at like optimizing for the talent that they had. You know, they like, all right, let's shift to. I thought we were just going to see a lot of running back dump offs and a lot of funny, weird stuff with tight ends, right? Like just getting Jonnu involved and short intermediate stuff. But they're just like, yeah, you know what? We're just going to do what we do. We're just going to put Scotty Miller in DK's role and see how that works. We're just going to send him in a bunch of one-on-one contested catch situations against Denzel Ward and see if Scotty Miller can win. And that went about as well as you would expect.
Yeah, it was not good at all. I honestly kept watching the game. I was like, I don't know who these guys are that they're throwing to. I mean, it was like, I know who Scotty Miller is, but I was like, who's 13 on the Steelers? Like I just couldn't at first glance.
Yeah.
No,
Barrington, Illinois' finest, Scotty Miller.
7 targets, just turned that into 3 for 25. I mean, Adam Thielen even saw 5 targets, and he's dusty. MVS continues to just do 9 targets. He converted 3 of those. I mean, that's just pathetic. They were running the ball okay. I mean, but that it's still just not. I don't know. I mean, this Browns defense is pretty good though, so I think like they're better than the Ravens defense. So
yeah, I'm watching my hero Carson Schlesinger literally get picked up off the turf by his teammates every single play. He hurt his leg early in the game, and I'm like, oh no, like he's got to get out of the game. They're going to take advantage of. He's literally just like. He's hobbling on and off the field. He can't get up. As soon as like the ball snapped, he's fine. And then the play's over and he's like, is he getting up this time? At no point did they like try to put him in like coverage or go after him with tight ends or running backs. Like, how am I watching this game going like there's a liability in the middle of the field. He is not well. But they're like, yeah, you know what? We're fine. We're just going to
take deep shots.
Let's chuck it down there to Scotty Miller again, see what he can do. So, the most Ravens or most Steelers situation that I could ever imagine. So yeah, it feels like 3.5 is a lot. It just is never a bet that I'm going to make, but I think you're right. It feels kind of like a little bit of an overreaction, but like, I do think the Metcalf, at least what he does, like allows you to do, or like gives you the threat of doing was definitely, he was missed. That was felt big time yesterday, even though they tried to make it like it wasn't a thing. So
yeah, agreed.
And you've been able to run pretty easily on the Steelers all season long, right? If you've had any semblance of a running game, they've been gashed by running backs all season, and we're coming off of a 36 carry, nearly 200-yard Derrick Henry game. So very curious. I don't think we've seen that yet. Let's take a look. I wonder what because I've seen some pretty early stuff. Like we're getting some San Francisco, Seattle stuff. It's a Sunday night game, so we're probably not going to get anything on the Ravens.
No, nothing right now.
Yeah, like what are they gonna line Henry's carries at? It's got to be like 22 and a half, 23. Yeah. It's probably might be light.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to chase it, but I do think that it's like, yeah, it's super light.
So many.
Yeah. Especially coming off that massive game.
Yeah. And the Steelers do, their opponents average the most point or plays per game in the league. So you can give them I don't know, 45% rush share, and it still might be, 28 carries. A little Keaton Mitchell in there too. Then we also going to have a situation on Saturday. The first game there is Carolina and Tampa Bay, with Tampa Bay a 3-point favorite with some 2.5. A little bit of Carolina money. Again, two completely not serious football teams. One of them is going to win the division, although there is that weird scenario where the Falcons are in play. Which is,
what is it? It's like, how do we get there?
So we get there with a Carolina win, and then the Falcons win out. So the Falcons have to win tonight. So this dies if the Falcons don't win tonight. And then if the Falcons win next week against the Saints and Carolina wins, and they're all 8-9, common opponent would go to the Falcons.
What?
Yep.
I mean, that's crazy. I thought the Falcons were basically done.
Yeah, they are. And you even look into like the simulator stuff, they will tell you that they are done. But then if we go here,
they're not going to win tonight. But
I agree. I don't think they're going to win tonight. But if we go in here and we click, let's just kind of walk through this. Yeah, they're 7.5, 8-point dogs, less than 1, right? 0. So we go Falcons. Run the Sims.
It's still, I don't even know if it's still like telling me that the Panthers would have to win. Yeah. Maybe the Sims are wrong. Maybe the Sims.
Maybe Sims is like, wait, we're not even, because the Saints is telling us we're 100% out.
Yeah, which is not right. I saw this yesterday on the screen too. I just didn't fully understand it.
Yeah, it's a common opponent situation where they maybe there's a few other. I mean, this is probably just designed that they're out, because whenever I'm sure there's some stuff in their back end that's feeding that would impact that. But yeah, because it wouldn't matter any other game. It wouldn't matter of any other scenario, of any other impact of any other NFC team, because it's just a division. So, but it's true. There is a off chance that the Falcons win and make it, which would be just absolutely insane. And we knew it was a crap division. I wouldn't want to play the Saints. I think the Saints are currently the best team in this division.
I agree. They're playing like it for sure. Tyler Shug seems like a building block for the future, at least for now.
Yeah. Or maybe it's the other way. Maybe it's the Falcon or the Bucks got to win this game. I don't know what it is, but saw it in multiple places written up this morning. Saw it on Steve Kornacki last night. Absolutely bizarre.
I think you're right. I think it was the Panthers had to win. I just don't think that it's like accounting for the second tiebreaker of all those things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I kind of think Carolina is interesting. I don't know, like 3-point dogs on the road against the Bucks. They continue to just like their defense has been playing pretty well. And the Bucks offense has been like lifeless for, I don't even know, a month, it seems like. So something seems up with Baker. Maybe it's just not like because they were missing Tristan Wirfs, I think, this game too. I don't know. It's just like something's off with this team.
Let's see here. So yeah, Carolina money line plus 130. This is what I thought was interesting. You have stages of elimination bets available on most books. So like if you like Carolina, does it make sense? Okay, so it's like the same price. Let's just say just if you like Carolina in the game, obviously there's, it could lose, but it's like if you get a better number, lose in the wild card rounds, you should be better off taking that. But it looks to be the same price. So why bring in that risk for no advantage? So,
right.
Good on you, FanDuel, for pricing that, I guess, correctly, or maybe predatory pricing. But I'm like, hey, there could be an edge here in kind of exploring some of the stages of elimination stuff here today, but not really. That looks to be the same price. What's Tampa Bay? Tampa Bay stage of elimination, if you were to pick them to lose the wild card round, they're plus 165. So that's actually interesting, right? Because they are minus 142 to win this game. So Carolina actually, or Tampa Bay is actually a decent bet. If you like Tampa Bay in that game, because I mean, it doesn't mean that they can't win. Obviously they can lose. They could beat whoever, but they're going to play either the Rams, Seahawks, or Niners.
Yeah, they're going to lose that game.
They're going to lose that game. right? So you can get them plus 165 to lose that game instead of laying the 140, 150 for them to win this week.
What do you think that they would be next week? Like they'd probably be a solid. They'd be at home.
They'd
So
be
they'd
at home.
probably be like what, 5.5 to 6.5 point dog somewhere. Like I don't think they would ever reach 7. You know?
No, I don't think we reach 7 either.
So you're looking at like 6-ish point dogs. So
yeah, just trying to think through this. So see if there's any ways to kind of piece through that. Jeff, the Bears did not win, but a hell of a football game, right? Like, whew, good times. Defense is not good. Niners defense, more the same. They're like, there's a lot of commonality between those two teams. Like minimal pass rush, can be opportunistic. You know, injuries have been a problem. The offenses can just kind of go blow for blow. And that's what we got last night. It's just highly entertaining football. Not necessarily good football, but highly entertaining football. Jeff trying to dunk on us with the Bears losing. We're okay. We live here. We don't love them.
I mean, it's like we just live
We're
here.
both technically transplants. You know,
it was awesome football. Like it was also like, I mean, they could have easily won by the end. Their defense is who we thought they were. Like they are not a good unit. They just force turnovers and they embrace chaos, and it's fun. It's great. Yeah, Bears don't want to play in Chicago. It's part of the plan. Exactly. They get one game in Chicago, I think. So
yeah,
they'll get
almost assuredly playing Green Bay,
which I guess like, so they're gonna have, right? They'll have like probably a banged up Jordan Love, like maybe highly unlikely to be 100%, maybe 90%, and then like Josh Jacobs is not full health. They don't have Micah. Like I think the Packers are still probably a better team, but like I don't know. I mean, it's going to be a close game.
The Michael loss is huge. Like everyone else, again, I'll go back to like Devontae Wyatt went down for the season too, like week 14. Like he's a really good internal pass rusher and a great run defender. Those are huge, huge losses. Like there's really been no one else. Like Rashawn Gary's massively disappointed. Lucas Van Ness, they haven't got anything out of that pick. He's been hurt when he plays. He doesn't do anything. So Micah made everything a little bit easier for those guys to be at least average. And without him, Bears look like, I mean, the Packers up front look like the Niners, right? There's just no real pass rush. And that's, you know, I don't know. You can get Caleb off his spot. You can get him to kind of, you know, make some mistakes or force some stuff, or it's just not really going to happen with this current iteration of the Packers.
Yeah. And you just saw last night, if you give him time, like, I mean, he was just gunning lasers, you know, downfield. Like, because if you give him time and he can actually sit there and chill, it's pretty lethal. Still not super consistent, but, you know, can make stuff happen pretty easily. So I don't know. I think it's going to be a close game. I would, if you're the Bears right now and you had a choice between playing the Niners or the Packers, I think I would almost actually probably rather play the Packers right now, to be honest.
Yeah, I think so too.
Which sucks because I know we're kind of on the Packers train, but just the way they match up, like, I mean, the Niners could. There's no reason the Niners couldn't just score 40 on them again the next time. I don't think the Packers are set up to do that.
No, agree. And the Bears, they like lost time of possession in a pretty substantial way on that that second matchup just a couple of weeks ago at home, right? They had a lot of success running the ball. They just didn't control the clock. They also struck with big plays. Green Bay really kind of controlled the ball, and we just saw Green Bay again struggle against the run again with King Henry. The Bears want to run the football. You know, they can, you know, dial it up and do what they did last night. But I think all said and done, they'd love to keep the game script neutral or like play from ahead and control and dictate pace through the run game. Right.
Yeah.
And then Caleb off of play action has been electric. So
good.
It is a bad matchup for the Packers.
And real quick too, Jeff said Connor rides too hard for Chicago to be a transplant. Jeff, I don't know where you were for the years during the Justin Fields years, but I was all in on the unders, all in on, you know, worst record, all this stuff. So, you know, I was getting fights at local Chicago bars with people because they didn't believe me that the Bears were going to be garbage. So, you know, you pick your battles. I think they're a decent team. They're not perfect, but they're fun to watch, at least for the first time.
You do two things at the same time, right?
Yeah.
They can be good and like insanely lucky within like unsustainable turnover variance. And we saw in the first play of the game last night. Like they've had that all season long. That doesn't mean that they're not good and they can't win. But like success rate down by down, they're a below average defense. And there's gonna be times where that kind of jumps out. Yeah. So the Bears do. I want to keep up for the Bears here a little bit for a second. I shared this. Bears fans have derangement syndrome. Source Hank here is a lifelong Bears fan. I shared this with Connor and our Slack chat. It doesn't matter a ton for Pro Bowl voting, but there is a fan vote element. And the Bears fans went so hard for their team. It was insane and almost admirable in a way. Like, I feel like, I respect the passion that these people had because, like, Nick McLeod is probably the worst cornerback in the league that took a fair share of snaps this year. He was awful. He's like 8th in fan voting because, like, early season, he's just out there all the time. So the fans are just like, all right, who's out there? And they're just like casting their ballot for everybody. Like, you see, like Austin Booker was ahead of like, Max Crosby in the fan, like just absolutely insane.
Do you watch, by the way, Austin Booker last night put on a highlight reel of just like a low light reel. I mean, dude was just like on skates the entire night, just like sliding around Brock Purdy.
He's a little stiff in the hips.
He did get a couple pressures, which is fine. But you put him outside of anywhere outside of like what he's supposed to do, and he doesn't look like he belongs in the NFL at all. Like, I just can't change directions like that apparently, or it was really bad.
Yeah, there's some guys that can do a little bit of everything. Some guys are, singular skill sets, and that's why Austin went late day 2, early day 3. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was looking at this next week though. So Bears obviously play the Lions just because we're talking about the Bears here. Yep. Bears 2.5 point favorites against the Lions. Pretty meaningless game, I think, for the Bears, right, at this point. Meanwhile, also a meaningless game for the Lions. I don't think Dan Campbell is just going to Dan Campbell's definitely going to play their starters for a certain period of time. I think just based on where Ben Johnson comes from, the Lions, I would guess that they're going to play for at least a half. The Bears starters, just like keep things going. But I don't know. I mean, like what this doesn't feel like that line. Like, I don't know. This feels like one of those, like, I don't know. Like, I feel like the Lions could be an interesting value. I don't think the Bears starters are going to play the whole game. They're so injured already.
Well, the Bears do. Yeah. They want the 2 seed. They want to win this game. Right. That's, I believe that's the case. So, because everyone else is right there, there's a jumble for who would be, because the Eagles, have the Commanders, right? So if the Eagles beat the Commanders and the Bears lose, then the Eagles would be the 2 and the Bears would be the 3.
And then the Bears would get the Niners or Seahawks instead.
Yeah, but then it becomes the next round. If it's, they move on and they are playing the Eagles, they got to go on the road versus hosting that game at home.
Right? That's fair. Okay, yeah, that's true. So then, could get 2 home games. So then, they're gonna.
So you can make the case that the Bears should be probably more than 2.5 point favorites.
Yeah, and then vice versa.
It's tricky. This is week 18.
Oh, you know what we're doing here though? We're gonna take the under in this game. 15. What's the weather looking like for Chicago next Sunday?
This is perfect. Small hands golf scenario.
Oh my gosh, I've been dreaming about this for like 6 months since I saw the schedule. Let's see. Weather Chicago.
I think it's gonna be cold.
It's not that cold though. Damn. So Sunday, high of 40. That's way too warm. Wind is 13 degrees. So it'll be like, feels like probably, I don't know. Let's see here.
40. Morning tea time.
I know. It's crazy. It was 50 degrees yesterday. Did you go outside?
Yeah. Nuts.
Well, that's kind of disappointing, honestly, because I was excited to bet against golf just no matter what. But it still could be cold enough. I mean, it's like, is it a noon game? What time are we looking at?
No, late afternoon. So in the dark.
Late afternoon. Yeah, we're looking at 3,700 high of 37, real feel of 27, like, and that's at the high, so it'll probably be a little bit colder than that. I still might be in 15-mile-per-hour winds.
Yeah. No, he's trying to do the opposite, Jeff. He's trying to play against golf in cold weather, not on golf.
I think he's saying golf. Look at it, he's saying golf.
Golf. Yeah. Oh, no. Okay. Yeah, I'll play golf in 40-degree weather, man. We don't have the choice here in Illinois. I'll take whatever I can get. There's a track not too far from me that stays open year round. So
all right. So then, yeah, I'm back on the under again. All right. I talked myself back into it. Gonna be a lot of running, I think, on both sides here, probably, just regardless. But yeah, maybe Bears 2.5. I think it's kind of interesting.
Yeah. There was some thought that, again, it was week 2, that the Lions ran it up a little bit on the Bears the first time. They were up by a decent amount and very much could have kicked a field goal with 2-3 minutes left, but went for it on 4th down and got a touchdown. Felt a little personal at the time. I don't know about you. Ben Johnson seems like a guy that just doesn't forget. And I don't know. It could be something there. I could see a statement game. Let's just go in, riding high with some momentum. Let's put this divisional foe to rest. Just kind of lay the wood on him a little bit. So, yeah, I'll be interested to see what happens. I imagine same thing. Dan Campbell's going to play all of his guys that are active
for sure. Yeah,
that might not be Amon-Ra though. Looks like he's dealing with some knee stuff, and so if they shut him down, or that could be interesting. So some of these other games are really hard to parse through on the slate. We kind of walk through it. Any thoughts on Seattle, San Francisco? Looks like Seattle short favorite on the road there. 49.5, 50. It's a lot of points considering Seattle's defense is pretty electric. Any leans there?
Probably lean Seattle, just based on the Niners defense is really bad in its current iteration. So I feel like Seattle is going to get in trouble when they play tougher defenses, or if they play tougher defenses. That just might not be in the cards for them, just based on kind of the draw here and who's healthy. The Rams, Seahawks. Yeah, I mean, Seahawks and Rams have the 2 best defenses in the division. Eagles probably at this point. I think they might struggle against the Eagles if they played them at some point. But I'm just trying to think hypothetically. I think that's where they could run into issues with Darnold kind of turning into cupcake. We've seen it happen a couple times in the last couple of years. So that would be, I think, their downfall, but their defense is legit. And the Niners, I mean, I just don't think match up well defensively against basically anyone at this point.
Yeah, it's not great. It seems like a lot of points. Again,
it is a lot of points.
We're just coming off of obviously the Niners scoring a ton, so I think that's in our mind, but that's a lot of points.
Yeah, I mean, people forget that the Bears defense is also, not very good either. They just get a lot of turnovers. So, yeah, I think 49.5 seems high. I would like the under there.
The Indianapolis Colts and Texans, Houston Texans. This is 10.5. Where again the Texans need that game for seeding. They could slide down, even to the 7 seed without it. They are the 5 seed, I believe, with a win there. I don't know who we're going to see a quarterback for the Colts. I'm not quite sure that it matters too much.
Yeah, I mean, this is a huge game for them, right? Because if they're the 5 seed, then they get one of the Ravens or the Steelers, which is
correct.
I think it kind of probably a big deal. Also, they mentioned that Phillip Rivers might not play in this game, which I think is very bad for the Colts. Who I think he hasn't been good, but
no, shout out to Rivers. He's been okay, right?
Fine,
which is I think definitely more than we thought.
100%. I mean, he's 5 years post-retirement. He's 45 years old. He clearly still knows ball, can't execute every throw. I mean, the receivers are fine. It's not like it's a great surrounding cast by any means. And he's getting it done and making games somewhat competitive for parts of the game. So I don't know. I don't think that he's that bad, but I think Riley Leonard might be that bad. So yeah, against the Texans, I mean, what are we looking at team total wise here? 40-point total, 10-point favorites. We're looking at like 25-15, right? So 15-point team total.
Yeah. It's tough. Might be high.
Yeah, that's. I mean, it's still tough. Like I don't know. Are they going to score 2 touchdowns or just have to be just Jonathan Taylor basically?
There
And
was
are
a
they going to jam
moment.
Jonathan Taylor in this game? Probably not.
Yeah. That's the thing, right? So some of these are unprecedented scenarios with like, what does this coach in this scenario do? There was a moment on Saturday when the Texans lost. It lasted for like a couple of plays, and like the Chargers had a pulse offensively. Lassiter came right back in the game, nothing again. So I know a lot is made of Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter, and they are awesome. But like this is the best secondary in the league, and I would give it a little bit better than Seattle, which is tough because you know how much I love Seattle and their secondary. Like Houston's awesome. Yeah, this defense is a real thing. And Riley Leonard shocked me how good he looked in that little half against Jacksonville early in the year. I'm like, all right, they're gonna do some Malik Willis. What we thought, 2 years ago, Malik Willis BS was just like hide him, get the ball out quick, first read, nope, tuck and run, design run, gadgety stuff. And they're like, no, we're gonna let Riley Leonard drop back a ton and chuck it around. And it went okay. I don't feel great about that here against the Texans. So a game that they really need.
No, I mean, even with Daniel Jones, they lost 20-16 against the Texans earlier. That was basically full strength. Jonathan Taylor, Daniel Jones. Yeah, they had almost the whole crew there. So yeah, don't envision that being going much better this time. I do want to say though that the Colts defense, like Lou Anarumo, kind of dialed up some nice stuff against the Jaguars last week. Like kept him at bay for most of the game.
Yeah.
Really made it really tough on him. Honestly, most of the times when they scored, kind of like came after like a random long play or like a penalty. Like they got bailed out a couple times by penalties. So like could have easily honestly won that game. And yeah, I thought it was, I don't know, like respectable what they did with that defense. So yeah, maybe the under here is another interesting play.
Yeah. Especially without DeForest Buckner, who really matters. And that's a game Jacksonville loses most times, right?
Oh.
So maybe there is something going on with Jacksonville where Liam Combs really is getting some stuff done there. Because that feels like a game that like Trevor Lawrence loses 9 times out of 10 based off of, historical comps and stuff that we've seen from him.
Yeah.
So, all right, Cleveland, Cincinnati. I don't know what to make of that game.
Browns plus 7.5.
Take the points probably. Burrow just doesn't seem like a guy who wants to sit. Right.
Doesn't really look like he cares though out there. He's just kind of like chucking it. He throws an incompletion. He's like, yeah, whatever. He throws a touchdown. He's like, whatever. Like he's just kind of like,
eat more
goofing around on the sidelines, which is, I guess, good, like playing loose. But I don't know. Doesn't seem like he really cares all that much.
Yeah, it's weird. Look, the Falcons aren't going to win tonight, so this won't matter as much. So give me the Saints.
Yeah, Saints money line, right?
Also, the Falcons aren't going to lose tonight because the Rams benefit. First of all, the Rams need to win. And the Rams is a double win for the Rams because the Rams improve their own draft position by beating the Falcons, right?
Oh, yeah.
They have the Falcons first round pick. They want the Falcons to lose.
They're a way better team. Correct. Stafford could throw for 500 yards if they really wanted him to.
Yeah, they're winning that game. So I will like the Saints and the points here. And 43.5 might be a little light, to be honest on the total. But I would take the points with the Falcons, or Saints. I'm sorry, I would take the points of the Saints, or maybe the Saints team total. Something there short of 22.5 or something like that would be pretty enticing. I'm trying to pump those Tyler Shuck bags, see if we can get home. Green Bay and Minnesota. Green Bay feels like a spot where, and you can see it baked in the line here with the Vikings. Anywhere from 5.5 to 7-point favorites. Green Bay essentially locked into the 7 seed and will, I think, rest a good amount of guys this week. So what does that look like, considering they seem to rest their receivers every week with their weird rotations? It's going to mean probably more Malik Willis, who's actually been like really good. Like,
yeah,
indisputably really good, right?
he was throwing darts on that, like in that game. Like he was, I know that they lost, but like I mean, he was ripping some dimes. Like honestly, I was very impressed. He looked good. So
And the running stuff didn't seem panicked. It was just like, it's here.
Yeah.
And then they ran like the read zone option stuff, and then the scrambles that came, I think, organically, didn't seem forced. His live rushing line dropped to like 25.5 in the second quarter, right before, he had 0 rushing yards, which was very strange. Right. It felt like a miss pre-flop because he was 31.5 or something like that. And I know there were questions about his shoulder heading into the game, but yeah, he looks like he's definitely going to be in a spot where he's competing for someone's.
So I guess the question is though, is like with Love kind of dinged up and he's like beat up, he had like a shoulder issue at the end of the game. Did they just start Clayton Tune?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, because otherwise I would like the over in the Packers in that game.
Yeah, there's a real chance, right? Depending on, I think that'll tell us a little bit about how healthy Jordan Love really is.
Yeah.
Right. Because if they feel like we need to really protect, Willis as well, then I probably would like the Bears even more in the playoffs in that matchup, considering that that's probably what that matchup looks like. So, yeah, I think it'll be telling. But this is itself telling that we have the Vikings, which could be,
Max Brosmer again.
Max Brosmer and Clayton too. Should Max Brosmer be, playing a touchdown against anybody?
No, probably not. All right. Well, then that's a wait and see game, I think.
Yeah, it's a wait and see game. But right, I mean, Packers. And we see massive line movement at week 18. We start to get more information. You're like, this game can flip 10 points. Like this could very easily be Packers -2.5, Packers -3, and 24 hours from now. So Packers getting 7 somewhere feels like a decent speculative play. Because they could, I think, shut the whole thing down and still cover 7 against Max Brosmer and company.
I kind of agree. It's kind of funny.
Yeah. Jacksonville and Tennessee. Jacksonville needs this game. That's reflected in the line. 12.5 on, DraftKings, circa some 11.5s out there too. Again, Tennessee's been playing out the string here for a while. Tennessee obviously can hurt their draft status, but they don't have the number 1 pick anyway. So they've already kind of done that damage. Jacksonville needs this game too. They could still, they need to lock up the division. So Jacksonville locks up the division with a win. So that's reflected there in the line. Dallas and the Giants feels like they're playing out the stretch. Giants came out full force against the Raiders yesterday, which is definitely interesting. Felt like I should have gone back to the ATM. Wan'Dale Robinson, who got home in the first half in that game, catching a ton of balls. Giants decided they wanted to bring back the forward pass after giving a couple weeks off of the forward pass. But any thoughts on what to make of Dallas and the Giants?
Yeah, Giants definitely tried a lot more than they I thought they were going to against the Raiders. Like, they're starting Dak again. I do think that there's some credence to Dak maybe going for the passing record or leading the league in passing this year. He's up like 260 or something on Stafford this week. So we'll see how that goes. I think he could definitely just come out and just gun it. So I don't know. I lean towards the Cowboys if we get like any full trying here. I just wonder if at what point like would they consider benching him or resting him. Seems like he might just be full go though.
Yeah, at least probably the first half.
Right.
So we'll see. Jets and Bills. Bills need the game as well. Can't win the division, but seeding can be impacted here. So we'll see. Unless they, we get news and they're just like, hey, we're gonna take whatever we get and we're gonna shut down. Like, I can see them like not playing Josh or playing Josh very little. Again, he looked a little better than I thought with the foot yesterday, but they obviously need, any playoff hopes for them advancing is tied to Josh Allen being 100%. So I would not be surprised if we see some MVP Mitch in this game. I'm not sure that, again, that matters against what we saw with the Jets yesterday.
Yeah, I was still can't believe that I'm going to be one game away from Jets having worst record, and the Raiders are just so bad. Like, just pathetic performance from them yesterday.
Do you remember people in preseason wanted to make the case for the Raiders as like a legit like back end playoff team, or people were betting I don't
It's
think you and I
crazy.
were there. But I'm like, what are we missing? Like, why are there smart people? Like, what? I don't know. I just didn't see it. It's a lot of like, I think Geno love in projecting that forward, but yeah, he regressed.
Some ball knowers like Geno a lot, love Geno, and has not played well. O-line's still a mess. That's what happens when you take a running back 6th overall instead of drafting an offensive lineman.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you trade Jacoby Myers. Like, it's just tough. Brock Bowers injured the whole, like, basically most of the year. So Crosby was injured, playing through an injury, it seems like most of the year to some extent. So
a nice jumper though. Did you see his jumper?
Yeah, that was pretty nice. In that sick court too, by the way. That was
Just goes to show you that like it doesn't matter what these guys are doing. These professional athletes are such better athletes than they're just insane. Everyone. Yeah.
They're so good.
Yeah, it's nuts. All right, Chargers, Broncos, we touched on a little bit. This is definitely telling us that, the Broncos need the game to get the number 1 seed. Otherwise, they're opening it up to the Patriots. Chargers kind of locked in, seeding wise. So it would make sense that the Chargers shut it down, which stinks for the Patriots. Again, they need it. That's reflected in the line here. Cardinals, Rams. Again, we saw it last year where McVay's going to shut his guys down. Like, this could very well be a backup scheme. Like the Rams did it last year. They gave up seeding to go on the road, and just to be healthy. So like, I very well think I don't think we see full Stafford here. We probably don't see much Puka. We're not going to see Devontae Adams come back. Like, again, maybe a little Blake Corum, and then we got a lot of Ronnie Rivers. Like, it's your guile. Mumford's going to be in here. Mumford and Sons is going to be playing.
Yeah, Kanata Mumpfield.
Yeah, we're going to play.
Absolute goat.
It's going to be lined at like 69.5 with Jimmy G at quarterback. That's the thing. So we're going to have Jimmy G, Mumfields, Winningham.
This shouldn't be 9.5. I don't think. I think this is a good like speculative bet here at like, I don't know. I mean, plus 9.5. I mean, it should not be 9.5. If you get all the backups in, there's no way they're going to be 9-point favorites. Maybe 3.5, maybe 4. I don't know. They're still definitely a better team, but like if they're starting all their backups, like this is.
I'd be stunned if we see many Ram starters in this game. We have
precedent. Why are they 9.5? You think it's just a mistake? I think it's like just like a good look ahead line to bet. I'm going to bet.
I think it's a good look ahead line to bet. I mean, partially because the Cardinals just suck.
Yeah, I mean they were pathetic too. By the way, them and the Raiders might have been my 2 biggest hate watches of the week. It was a really tough watch. Like they were not even like trying to throw. Sometimes they would just run the ball, 2nd and 10, run the ball for 2 yards, throw the ball, take a sack. Like it was embarrassing. Like it felt like they had a lot more push earlier in the season.
Yeah.
But you know what?
3-2-1
I'm going back to that team because that was so exciting. I'm going to go back to them and. Plus 10, I think makes sense, or 9.5.
Yeah, it's interesting. All right, Commanders and Eagles. Again, Eagles, playing at the same time as the Bears. Eagles do have a chance to improve to the 2 seed if the Bears lose, and the Commanders still obviously playing on the string. Don't really have a lean on that game, but I would lean Philly, and we're seeing that kind of playing out at Pinnacle, taking some Eagles money today, whereas some other shops are still at 8. So that's interesting to see. Raiders, Chiefs, I don't know what to make anything of. Any thoughts on Commanders, Eagles, or Chiefs, Raiders?
No, probably just no bets. Like, not even going to watch the games, I would assume.
Yeah, again, this is just get the BN fantasy alerts. Like, there's going to be some stuff that can come out breaking news-wise that can really impact these lines. And we see this every year. We see some massive week 18 line movement. Props will be really slow to release. I'd imagine you're going to get some stuff on the games that we know that matter, right? We're going to get some San Francisco, Seattle stuff. We're going to get Baltimore, Pittsburgh stuff. We will get Tampa Bay, Carolina stuff. The rest of it, I think, will be very slow to release. They're going to make sure that they don't back themselves in any corners around playing time or anything that they don't know about. So Yeah, be careful there. All right, let's jump to some future stuff. Anything?
I think
Anything
you
you
should
wanna talk
bet
about?
Drake May MVP. Maybe I'm crazy.
I think you should bet Drake May MVP.
Like,
I love it.
I don't get
Stafford
it.
could be
Like,
the 5 or 6 seed. He's not gonna play next week.
yeah, and like the Patriots are gonna have the best record. There's gonna be like, when do they vote on it? It's like right after week 18, right? Something like that.
Yep.
I just think that there's gonna be a little bit of time in the next week and a half to stew on things, right? So like they're gonna be like, oh man, Drake May, team was 4-13, like they were 4th pick last year, and now they're the number 1 seed in the AFC. Or yeah, I mean, I think they're probably, or what is it? Broncos could still be, I guess, technically.
Broncos
but,
are the favorite. Yeah, it'll be 1 or 2, more than likely.
but yeah, like yeah, they're top 2 seed. Like he just lit up the Jets, which I'm shocked did not move the odds at all.
It's a
I don't
pretty
know, like-
strong historic trend of 1 or 2 seed MVP.
Interesting. Yeah, I just don't know. Like I feel like it seems like it should be about even right now, and Stafford minus 250 seems really rich.
Here's the problem, though, is right now, and part of why I think it's held, there's been maybe some resistance, is we have an island game Stafford situation tonight,
Yeah.
right? So Drake May could be 4-1 tomorrow, and then it's way more interesting to me. But, you could have the voter that locks in after tonight. It's like, I've seen enough. Stafford's the guy. I'm giving it to Stafford. Because, again, we might not see Stafford next week. Another thing that works in Drake May's favor, or, his side here is that, Drake May plays at least a half, probably at least 3 quarters next week, possibly the whole game against Miami's secondary. Yeah, I'm with you. I don't think now is the right time to get in. I think we're going to get a better price, but I think it's a good bet.
Yeah, I think there's still just like enough time here. I mean, like the problem is, I guess Stafford could technically be leading the league in passing yards probably as well, potentially as well. Whereas like, but Drake May, I mean, hasn't he thrown maybe, I don't know, maybe it's not more touchdowns. I mean, 30.
No, because Stafford's, I think it's like 40 to 30 touchdown wise, because Stafford's got all those 1-yard Devontae touchdowns.
Yeah, 40-5 versus 30-8, 4,100 yards versus 4,200 yards technically. So I mean, Drake May, because Drake May lit him up last week. So like, the stats are definitely in favor of Stafford, unfortunately, I think.
Yeah.
Same exact passer rating, 112. Yeah, it might just be. Also, I worry about like the kind of lifetime achievement. Kind of like
Correct.
this could be his last season if he wants to. I mean, honestly, it would not surprise me if he just retires at any point. But
we thought that could happen this past off season.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's tough. I still think that like after this game, could be worth a bite here at Drake May. Maybe you get a 3-1. I don't know. That could be possible, I think.
Yeah, I think it's very possible. Yeah. So I also agree. There's some things here we're not done there, especially if Stafford in particular is kind of like meh tonight, and that could be interesting. Defensive player of the year, we know Myles Garrett. I wanted him to get that sack yesterday, so you can the week 17 bros or 17 game bros would stuff it in their tailpipe, but no. Offensive rookie of the year continues to get a little bit tighter. Has kind of essentially turned into a 2-man race. Was kind of the perfect setup last week for Tyler Shuck with the Titans. Ted McMillan not 100% and got Seattle. That got significantly shorter. It's definitely been moving a little bit. Has definitely now feels like a 2-man race. And we have Carolina island spot, big game. Tech could go ahead and grab a hold of this with a pretty big Saturday afternoon spot. But if he is just kind of average, catches 4 balls for 50 yards or something like that, this is very much out there for Tyler Shuck.
I mean, he's kind of been average for a while now, right? I mean, it's like when was the last time that Ted did anything big? He did, a good, 4 for 60 and touchdown last week, something like that?
Yeah, he did last week. Yeah.
6 for 70 and touchdown. I mean, that's a good game, but it's not like nuclear. I mean, he's 2 for 35, 1 for 43, 2 for 25, then his big game, then 1 for 5. That was like his last 5 games prior to his, before his biggest game of the year. So, I mean, he's been good. Don't get me wrong. I think he's been good. He should be used even more, to be honest. But I don't know. What are the Saints won now? 5 of the last 6 or something like that? 4 of the last 6?
Yeah, they've been fun. Tyler Shuck again, I don't know, what was it yesterday? Like 4 incompletions. I know it was Tennessee. So like caveat that it was the Titans without a doubt, but like it was dialed. Over 300 yards, getting it done, looks competent, good offensive play caller. Again, tough because he obviously, just Spencer Rattler for half the season. So it's kind of a weird situation, but we see this, and you don't have to play a full season to win an award. We have precedent for that for sure. So,
I mean, this deserve also, like, they should have just gone with Tyler Sugar earlier. I don't know why. Like, you really need the couple games on the bench here. This division is wide open. Like,
yeah,
what were they doing?
Yeah, it's rough. But again, no one else really went out and grabbed it. We kind of talked about in the preseason, like it's gonna be hard for Cam Moore to now win the award because he's gonna play from day one, like quarterback playing every week. But he found a way to not get it done.
He's playing pretty well though now.
He's been fine.
Like,
yeah. I'm not down on him. I think there's some potential there for sure. But yeah, Tyler Shough I think is interesting, and comes down to I think some good Week 18, especially for Ted McMillan. Starts the slate off and a big island spot on Saturday. He's got to go out and he can win that award. So, defensive rookie of the year. I got a lot of feelings here. Shared a lot of them. But my bags are packed either way. I'm going to be good. I definitely think it's a 2-man race. I think Gaiman Warrior is awesome. I don't think he's done enough. But we'll see. I mean, Eamon Warrior has a chance too. He's going to get an island game and could be, a key cog in Seattle being the number 1 seed in the NFC. Now, I think Pierce has a spot tonight in a primetime game against Matthew Stafford. If he goes out and he's got 8.5 sacks, if he can get himself to 10 in the next couple of weeks, that's pretty interesting. Voters love sacks. Historically, this has been a first-round edge award over the last 15, 20 years. There's not a lot of precedent for off-ball linebackers, especially second-round off-ball linebackers. But Carson Schlesinger has been the every down play caller. He's played like 97.5% of the snaps for his team this season in the middle of that defense. And they've been the only reason that team has had a pulse all year is because that defense, Schlesinger has been a huge piece of it. So I think he's without a doubt the defensive play of the year. I think Pierce and Eamon Warrior slightly have a path. So do you have any thoughts here?
Not much to add. I think you did a good job summing it up. Shout out to you for getting the early Schwest numbers for the listeners of the show and subscribers and everyone. It was like 50-1, right? 50 or 60.
Yeah, I got a 60. Yeah,
that's pretty hot. It'll be a nice little Christmas bonus there in a week, hopefully.
Yeah. The Pierce numbers, I got 19. I got a little 25 on Pierce, and the bigger play that I have is at 19. So we'll be okay either way. Eamon Warrior is the only one that like I would just win a little bit. I got like a 550 on Eamon Warrior to have a win in the market. But I want Schlesinger, and because I think Schlesinger should be the one. But those are bells we've been ringing since the draft that Schlesinger and Pierce were great plays in the market. So let's see what else we got here. Comeback we never really discussed because I don't know what to do with it. Now the market's kind of decided for us that it should be CMC. He should win something. Coach is really interesting. People have a lot of opinions on Coach. See here, FanDuel's got this. Some better Vrabel numbers here than like DraftKings, for instance, who's a minus number on Vrabel. Shanahan at plus 150. The one that I think is interesting is Mike McDonald at 6-1 because we have Shanahan versus McDonald for number 1 seed in the NFC, and I think if the Seattle wins, Shanahan's dead, right? He's not winning that award.
Yeah.
So why is that? Why is there discrepancy this big in the market?
I don't know. It's a good question, honestly. And it's like, now that I'm seeing this number, it kind of seems like they might just give Stafford MVP and then Vrabel Coach of the Year. Like if May doesn't win MVP, like they're going to give the Patriots something probably. So, but that could make sense. If McDonald probably the best value at the board, right? Like if the Seahawks win, then like he's probably squarely in contention here.
Yeah, I think Vrabel wins the award. I've talked about this in Discord, but I think if you're looking to play, CLV game, without a doubt, there's a scenario where the McDonald number is significantly shorter, in a week, right? And then you're feeling pretty decent about that comparatively. So if you're looking at, you have nothing in this market currently and you're looking to get in, I think McDonald is the way to do it. Because you very much could see him, basically a coin flip, maybe a little shorter or maybe a little longer than Vrabel, say this time next week. So
yeah, it's a good call. I like that. 7-1, not bad.
I mean, Liam Cohen and Ben Johnson are like legit candidates in any other year, based off of the nature of the award. That's also why I think Vrabel matters a lot. It's like betting. Who's betting on this? It's so old school legacy media for the most part, right? They're not thinking that like the Patriots and Seattle had very comparable win totals coming into the season, right, in the market. The reality is that Seattle was 10-7 last year, and the Patriots were 4-13. So even though they both came in with like 8.5, 9 win totals in the preseason, the exceeding expectations piece, which we've learned through the years, becomes a really key element in this award. And yeah, the expectations for the Patriots were that they were going to be playoff adjacent. They were 4-13, the old school legacy media guy, right? And now they're maybe 13-4, right? So it matters. It just is the reality of how this works.
It was so funny. I was with some buddies last night who don't bet, but like watch football. And the pre-year, one of them had bet, who's a big Pats fan, had bet one of my other friends that the Patriots were going to win 10 plus games. My friend gave him even money on it, and they accepted it, which is a terrible bet, obviously. They were like 8.5 win total or something like that, maybe 9.5. But like you get plus money. So like just they had no concept of that. And so obviously the Pats are well above 10 wins. So they were, both sitting there and they're like, all right, I'll give you double or nothing. If the Niners win tonight, they'll do nothing. And then, if the Bears win, it'll be double. And so they're like waiting until game time. He's like, all right, I'll do it. The first play throws a pick six.
Yeah.
Like first play. It was so good. I was just like, I was like, man, this is just like no concept of betting. Like there's so many other sharper ways to do this, or like different ways to, skin the cat. And it's not it. It gave me a good, flash of reality of what most bet people, like how people bet.
Yeah, it's fascinating.
But yeah, the Pats winning this many games is crazy. That's just what reminded me. I was like, this is nuts.
Yeah. And look, you can't argue the schedule. I'm not going to argue as a Patriots fan. The schedule has not been historically easy, but like they've whooped teams, right? Like the Broncos beat the Jets 13-11 or something like that. They needed late fourth quarter heroics to beat the Giants at home by 1 point, right? So like the team that's also the number 1 seed in the AFC, like barely beat Chris Olakawuna or whatever on Christmas. It's a disaster, right? It's not a team that like, I don't know, the Patriots are getting beat down for the schedule, which is again something you can't argue. There's some bad football teams. At least they whooped some of these teams by margin when they got them. So maybe they do that again to Miami here in Week 18. Offensive Player of the Year, is Puka live at all, or CMC? Considering Puka's got a game tonight still, and like has like I don't know what's his prop lines, like 110.5. It's crazy.
Yeah, 100. It's nuts. I think he missed some time, so that's probably the problem. Like
he did, but they have like mirrors. I've seen, I think, like FanDuel or someone social put out a graphic. It's like they have almost the same exact stats, Puka and JSN. Is this exceeding expectations again? Like we thought JSN was good, we didn't think he was Puka.
Probably.
Yeah,
I would say so. To be honest, like I guess like Puka could have more yards than him, and I guess if that happens, like people might just like look at themselves in the mirror and be like, "Well, wait a second." Well, I mean, so JSN's at 1709, Puka's at 1592. Obviously,
yeah, because yesterday,
yeah, right. So, but then Puka could easily get 100 yards ish here. He's 2 touchdowns behind. So, yeah, I mean, it's kind of like, I guess I would probably rather just bet like Puka 125 and 2 touchdowns.
It's a good point.
Because then I would assume you'll get I would guess you'd probably get better than 250 on that. A little bit
true.
better, maybe like 3-1. Not a ton better. I mean, we can do it right now. You want to add it up on the screen? Let's see.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy that you might not get better than 3-1 on 100 plus in 2 scores.
Yeah, because like that's, I mean, and the other thing too is like that's just for him to like even be like in contention. Like that's not even like for sure winning the award. That's just like to square the, square the stats up. He technically has played in fewer games, so that maybe that gives him like a slight edge at that point too. But
well,
yeah,
let's try over.
Do that with, just the regular over, and then 2 touchdowns. He's gonna be like plus 440. Okay. So you get better than that. Okay, so you get 4-1. I mean, that's a better bet in my mind than.
I totally agree. Yeah, it's a good call. Definitely a better way to go about it.
Yeah,
it's interesting. It goes back to like the one thing I wanted to touch on is just like it seemed forever that like there was, how can you go into this market because Jonathan Taylor was such an insane value, and then here we are. It's like. He's like 150 to 1 because the floor fell out in Indy.
It's nuts how that happened.
Yeah, this is what's going on, Connor. That's new to me, right? I'm old enough to remember, the 2001 Patriots who came out as a team. It was the first team to do that in the Super Bowl. Typically, and in that same Super Bowl, the Rams got announced. Here's the offense, right? Here's the greatest show on turf. There's Kurt Warner, there's Torrey Holt, there's Isaac Bruce, Marshall Faulk. Here's the whole clan, and then it's the Patriots coming out as a team, American flag in hands. It's 2002, January 2002, right? We're still fresh off of September 11th. Here come the Patriots as a team. They were likable, right? Tom Brady was backup, was a cool story. Slowly over time, you don't go away for 20 years, everyone hates you. And it didn't take long for the heel turn, right? Everyone hated him for a while, but like people kind of like Drake May and Mike Vrabel. Like this Patriots being a little bit likable to the general public is something I'm not used to here. I don't know what to do with it.
I mean, people are going to eventually hate them anyways, but I do think there's some differences here. Like Belichick is not a super likable guy, I would consider him very affable by any means. And Brady is just kind of like a dick and a dweeb, like at the same time. So like, he's like,
first of all, watch your mouth.
Like he's just like super stern and like very to the point, which makes him great, makes him the best or one of the best of all time, depending on where your opinion lies. But like also kind of just like, I don't know, turned into like a seemingly pretty unlikable guy based on his on-field behavior. And then obviously kind of had some, scandals along the way there. And I think that kind of whole thing there in the Patriot way, just like, and them winning everything. Like everyone hates the Chiefs now too, just because they won so much, like I think that comes with the thing, but they were especially unlikable, I think. After 20 years and all the random shit that happened, in my opinion.
Totally agree.
That's the difference in my opinion. But
yeah, no, I agree. I don't disagree. And someone who, loves Tom blindly, we've joked about it, like the cloning of the dog thing. We are definitely in a phase that's been going on for a little while of Tom. I think we're getting a little bit more insight to it through his socials and stuff.
Yeah.
But he's so far removed from being the just everyday guy that made him really appealing. He just seems just, he's just stupid rich and stupid famous. And like, there's just the cost of that. Like you lose the every guy vibe.
Maybe Drake May gets there, but I mean, like, I was playing craps next to Drake May last year. Like, that's never gonna play craps next to Tom Brady. Like that's, he's just like, seems like a very normal dude. Not super like outspoken or crazy. Seems pretty humble, but like we'll find out in the next couple of years, if they keep winning and like, he'll be rocking chains and like, crazy shit coming in the future. Who knows? That's all possible.
It's true. Maybe he has a ponytail phase like Tom did in 1 year.
Jim brought up another point here. They win, 49ers lost 4 of the 5 seed. I think that's true, but I think that your point was that they in the past, they hadn't cared about that, right?
Correct. There's precedent last year specifically. They punted on week 18, giving up seeding for rest to be healthy.
This one feels a little more egregious though, because the 4 seed is going to be an NFC South team.
Correct. Which is a nice path.
Like that. I'm not saying it's a free win, but much
Well,
better
they
than
can't even
losing.
get that though, right? They're just 6 or 7, right? Because the loser of unless there's a tie break, right?
Oh,
Because
it's
they're
gonna be
2 games,
7? Yeah. Well,
right? They're 11-4, right? They'll be 12-4, right? These two, like, oh no, okay. So I don't know what the Rams tiebreaker is. So let's play it up. The Niners time, and that's what Jim's talking about too. Right? They can't catch Seattle, but so Rams here, and let's see here. We'll do whatever. This doesn't. Oh, so this will be Seattle, right?
yeah.
They make the playoffs, so we need Rams. That messes with. Does it tell us what the seeding is?
Yeah, will it do that?
Yeah, get the 5 seed. All right, Rams get the 5 seed if they win.
Win both.
Yeah, they win both.
Okay,
But
so what if they lose the next week?
if they punt this one, they're the 6 seed, right? And Green Bay, because Green Bay would stay 7. Right. So they go between the 5 and the 6.
5 and 6, but then they'd have to play. It's either the Eagles or the Bucks, right? Wouldn't that be the case? It'd be Bears, Packers, Eagles,
correct.
Niners, or Bucks, Rams. So maybe they do kind of try. I don't know. Maybe they give them like a half.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see if we get anything from McVay. But it did happen. It did happen last season. So
if I remember correctly, last season it was like, somewhat less meaningful. Maybe not. I don't remember. Let's see. It was, let's see here, 2024 NFL playoff bracket. Of course, ESPN just
the worst.
Takes hours to load. I think it was like against they would have played like the Texans or someone else, if I remember correctly.
Well, the Week 18 game would have been a divisional game.
Yeah, it wasn't. Sorry, not the Texans. So, well, they were the 4 seed last year, so they were technically the 4 seed. But then they could have been the. No, I think might have just been locked in the 4 seed. That might have been why. Because no other NFC West team made the playoffs.
Let me see. Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe the 10-point spread makes sense. It's not listed on a lot of books, so it makes me think that there's a little more volatility here. To your point, like they're locked in the playoffs either way. I think they're going to like half try, but 10 points is still a lot.
It's a lot. Let's see if we can pull up anything. Yes, the Week 18, they already clinched the playoff berth. Because they beat the Giants and they hosted Seattle. They were locked into either the 6 or 7. And head coach Sean McVay chose to rest the starters, including Stafford. So they went from the 6 to the 7. So,
okay. Yeah.
And then that forced the Packers to play the Eagles. And then they played Detroit. So yeah, they could have avoided Detroit last year. Who at the time, was very much a buzzsaw, right? So they went and decided to take that game and punted on it. So interesting.
Yeah, I don't know, but I guess it's something to stay tuned on and then move quickly on, probably if they're going to rest starters. So
yeah. All right, sweet. I think that kind of sums it up. Do you have any Monday Night Football thoughts you want to get to before we wrap?
Yeah, I guess real quick. Played some Kyle Pitts stuff, some unders there. I think you could play some like alt overs on like passing stuff for the Rams. I don't have much faith in the Falcons here, to be honest. The Bijan receiving stuff seems pretty good, but the number's already 43, so you're not really getting much value here. Yeah. And then I think you played Corum, right?
I played Corum. I'm surprised it's still hanging out, to be honest. I think this is very bettable, 44.5. Just been really good. And Atlanta's been able to get up some explosives, especially on man gap runs, which we see a lot of from Corum. So I think this is a really good look. And I will say that we don't get him on FanDuel. I think 7.5 tackles and assists is too many. Caden Ellis. So I like the under on Caden Ellis tackles and assists. I think it's like plus 110. So plus money on that. Yeah, I think that's a decent look. So
nice. Good about that as well. Cool. Yeah, I don't think I had too much else here, to be honest. I'm not doubling down on my guy Mumpfield. They corrected his number by 10 yards, which is a ton for a guy who's only going to see whatever 3 to 6 targets, basically. I would assume in this game. He saw I think 8 last week, but it's because they threw the ball a bunch. So don't anticipate that happening again.
Yeah, I'll probably look for some live Bijan receiving stuff, right? I think maybe you get the Rams out to a little bit of a lead, and maybe Bijan doesn't, kind of like what happened last week. He just didn't get any receiving early, and then they were in a trailing game script, and you drop 10 yards in the live market. So, and then the game script is already determined that that's going to start to be a piece that works in. So I think there's also a little concern with Drake London being back last week, and is that going to impact the ceiling of Bijan? And we saw he could just do it on one catch because he's so damn good. So, all right, sweet. Appreciate everyone hanging out with us as always. Again, I know a little different format today. Definitely a better watch on YouTube. 4for4 live on YouTube. Move line wherever you listen to podcasts. We'll be back on Friday with Prop Drop with Slop. It should be a wild one. We get some interesting names in a week 18. Hopefully we get to mature in markets enough that we can bet. But come join us for the prop show, 3 p.m. Eastern on Friday. So for Connor, I'm Ryan. See y'all next time. Thanks, everybody.